Biotech firm Altimmune is one of the many players working on a COVID-19 vaccine and treatment. One key differentiation, though, rather than getting a shot, Altimmune's vaccine and treatment are both intranasal. The stock is down today, but the run-up for this one over the past year has been huge, more than 1,000% year to date. Joining us now is CEO Vipin Garg. Vipin, thank you for joining us. So how does this work? You inhale the vaccine?
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. This is a simple nasal spray. The vaccine is delivered through the nose as in form of a nasal spray. And as you can imagine, that has a number of benefits. It is less invasive. It's very convenient, so very, very portable vaccine. But in addition, and perhaps more importantly, particularly for this virus, we are delivering the vaccine where the virus enters our body. So the virus, as you know, enters our body through the nose. It infects through the nose and actually takes a foothold in the nasal cavity and multiplies there or replicates there. So it makes sense to deliver the vaccine exactly where the virus enters the body. We think this could be very important for this particular virus because it infects us through the upper respiratory tract.
So at this point, what is your timeline and how do you see it stacking up versus some of the other bigger, more established players that are far along with their clinical studies?
Yeah, so we think there's going to be a need for multiple vaccines as we move forward, vaccines with different attributes. Most of the vaccines that are in clinical trials right now, as you know, most of them, well, all of them are intramuscular injections. We know that they can activate or stimulate immune response, which is good. So we're making good progress there. But we know so little about this virus at this point. We really don't know what kind of immune response is the best or is the most appropriate immune response against this virus. Is it serum antibodies or neutralizing antibodies that many of the vaccines are showing? Is it T-cell immunity or is it mucosal immunity? Or is it a combination of all three of them? So we think it really makes sense to develop multiple options as we learn more about this virus. Yes, we need a vaccine as quickly as possible, but the front-runner vaccines may not be a complete solution for this pandemic. So we need additional vaccines to be ready to fight it over the long term.
And Vipin, clearly there are a lot of runners out there at the moment, as we've been talking about all day with the announcement from Russia. But if one of those other vaccines is the clear winner or the clear front runner, do you have the ability to adapt and work with that front runner to then deliver their vaccine nasally?
So that's a great question. In fact, yes. So as you probably know, a lot of the experts, key opinion leaders around the world are now saying, particularly for SARS-CoV-2, the best way to deliver the vaccine is through the nose, because again, we want to activate immune response in the nasal cavity. And the only way you can do it is via intranasal delivery. The systemic antibodies that we generate through the shot or the injection don't get to the nasal cavity. So it's really important to develop mucosal immunity in the nose where the virus is infecting us. Secondly, it's also possible as we move forward and learn more about this virus that we may actually end up using a combination of two different vaccines. We might have a shot followed by an intranasal vaccine. So there are a lot of different ways we can work together with other players. I mean, we're developing a single dose intranasal vaccine. That's the other thing I want to point out. Most other vaccines are at least 2 doses. Most of them require an adjuvant. Our vaccine doesn't require an adjuvant, and we are developing it as a single dose intranasal vaccine. And by the way, with excellent room temperature stability. So you can imagine a scenario where our vaccine can be shipped to the end user, and they can actually administer it themselves without the need for a healthcare worker. So There's really a lot of ground to be covered in terms of developing a safe and effective vaccine in the long run.
Vipin, really quickly on your treatment option, which you're also doing intranasally, and I find really interesting because it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, you're targeting the cytokine storm, which is what makes people very, very sick and potentially severe cases. But before people go into the hospital, so they would spray this in their nose when they're sick at home to prevent having to get admitted. Is that really what it does? And how much data do you have on that? Because that could be huge.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one thing we know about this virus is that it enters through the nose, it takes a foothold, and it multiplies and essentially creates an army of viruses in the nose, and then it attacks the rest of the body. So by the time our body finds out that it's under attack, it's kind of too late for many people, and they have this over-exuberant response to the virus, which leads to cytokine storm. What we are trying to do through our T-COVID, which is our therapeutic, is to activate our own innate immune system, which is really the fourth arm of the immune system, which is non-specific. It's not specific to coronavirus, but it can actually begin to fight the virus early so what we're trying to do is engage that innate immune system as early as possible, immediately after infection, and really prevent from severe disease, prevent progression to cytokine storm, and ultimately hospitalization. Most of the studies, therapeutic studies, are treating patients that are already hospitalized or are in the ICU. What we're trying to do is prevent patients from progressing to severe disease and prevent from hospitalization. And by the way, you can use this, if this works, it could be used for the next pandemic, because again, it's a non-specific approach, and the idea is to engage body's own innate immune response system.